let's talk about Christian McCaffrey. He was listed as limited yesterday in practice with a calf injury. The 49ers have not been the best team as far as transparency with injuries, that's for sure. And we were told all summer, this guy's healthy. This guy's healthy. He's never looked better. What about the tendonitis, the Achilles tendonitis in both his right and left Achilles? Oh no, that's all gone. That's all thing of the past. There was never a surgery to repair it that I know of, unless there was some international surgery, minor surgery.
He went to Germany for the stem cell stuff.
Right. So, but I mean, is that a surgery?
Not
as
a
much
surgical
as
procedure. Exactly.
It's a treatment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I mean, what is your takeaway on CMC? Is this a situation where, the calf is awfully close to the Achilles and we should prepare ourselves for, the 49ers are going to have to go this year without Christian? Do you think it's that serious? I don't know that we're going to get a straight answer from the Niners. What's your take?
It was one of those moments last night that when you saw the news come across, we all said to ourselves, are you kidding me? Deja vu from last year. This can't be happening. Christian McCaffrey has been healthy throughout training camp. He's looked really good throughout training camp. When healthy, he is one of the most dynamic, one-of-one, explosive, and best overall players in the NFL. The Niners are able to reach their peak offensively because Christian McCaffrey is the engine that really gets that Niners offense moving to a capacity in which they can be their best selves. And so given the injury history here, I think this is a major concern. It is a developing situation. Him being a surprise addition to the Niners injury report, some people speculating maybe it's gamemanship from Kyle Shanahan because there has been the Niners strategy all training camp and preseason long to manage his workload. Look, we were in the same situation last year. Christian McCaffrey going into year one popped up on the injury report, calf Achilles issues at the end of 2023, Larry. This is what this stems back to and goes back to. At the end of the year, you and I have talked about how McCaffrey wasn't healthy. Why? Because of a calf injury, the same calf. And so he's missed 10-plus games in 3 of the last 5 years. There was an injury history. He's an older running back. We know how running backs age. He's missed a lot of time. You gave him that huge contract extension, which was record-breaking at the time. And so you've committed a lot of financial capital to him. When he's been right, he's been superb, but you can't count on him. And so Tom Pelissero had the report this morning, NFL Network. It's not DEFCON 1. We don't believe it's a huge concern. But look, I am concerned because last year we were told it wasn't a problem. He was a game-time decision. Then he didn't play the first 8 weeks of the year. Then once he came back, he didn't look right. And he has the injury history. He had been healthy, and now it pops up again. And you have PTSD a little bit because of McCaffrey's calf issue, which led to Achilles problems. But what also happened to Dre Greenlaw? This Niners organization and this fan base is a little bit scarred. So with how impactful he is, how important he is to this Niners offense, combined with the injury history and the concerns about this lingering, yeah, it's a huge concern for me with the Niners going into 2025 because this offense isn't as good as it can be without Christian McCaffrey on the field. He's that good.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the bottom line on this thing. It's like, if I told you that you're a runner, okay, you run long distances, you run what, 5 miles a day or something like that. You've done some
like
marathons.
3 at my peak, but I'm doing more strength training now. But yeah, I love to run. I run very frequently. Yeah.
Okay, so if I told you, hey man, I'm running a marathon in 6 weeks, but I'm telling you, man, I'm having a hard time getting through a mile right now because it's just I'm having a hard time. I'm having shin pain and I've got heel pain. I've got some knee pain. I'm having the darndest time. I get to about a half mile, 3/4 of a mile. Oh, and the pain starts to get really overwhelming. Oh, by the way, I'm running a marathon next month.
Not good.
You'd be like, bro, you're probably not going to make in the marathon. That marathon's 26 miles. And if you're hurting after 1 mile, that's Christian McCaffrey. He hasn't played at all. He's basically, had very light reps all summer long for the most part. They babied him. Now here comes the hard stuff, hitting and tackling and physical. And it's like, what are the odds that this guy's going to make it to the finish line? That
Yeah.
being said, if you're John Lynch, if this is what would you do? What would you do? How would you react? I know they already traded for
Good
Brian
thing they
Robinson,
traded for Brian Robinson, right?
Yeah, I mean,
because Isaac Guerrero can't stay healthy.
I mean, but what would you do? What would you just say, oh, well, we got Brian Robinson, we're set? Would you, I bring this up because I was doing a stream last night, and the guy's like, hey, if I were them, I would try to call up the Jets and offer Jair Brown and a pick and see if I could get Breece Hall. And I said, that's interesting. I would do that too. I actually, in lieu of that, because that takes two to tango, I'd pick off Damian Martinez off the Seahawks practice squad. They cut him the other day. They re-signed him today or yesterday. He was a good player at Miami. He's a powerful runner. He runs through contact. You don't know if Brian Robinson can make it. You don't know what you're getting at a CMC. Guerendo's just an athletic guy. He's not a running back. Jordan James hasn't played for weeks with broken fingers, for crying out loud. I don't think they got enough. I think I would go sign a Damian Martinez. To me, he's the most impressive practice squad back out there, and put him on your active roster. Cut one of your 10, offensive linemen. You don't need to go with 10 offensive linemen. They've done this in the past. They've gone with too many offensive linemen. Backup offensive linemen don't play. The Matt Pryors of the world don't even ever get on the field. So pick between Burford and Pleasance, cast the other one aside, see if they clear waivers, and use that spot on an extra running back. That's what I would do.
I love Breece Hall, and obviously he's looking for a contract extension. He hasn't gotten it from the New York Jets, and so he's not gleefully happy with the situation with New York right now. I do think because the Niners traded for Brian Robinson, a former third-round pick and a high draft pick like Breece Hall was, that the Niners aren't going to make another trade to that level. I also think it depends, right? If Christian McCaffrey is out for a long period of time, that might change and alter the thinking here. But there are two really big offseason additions that the Niners made here at running back, which can help you in the meantime as you try to navigate and see what's happening and try to get to what is actually the truth behind this injury and the severity. You traded for Brian Robinson, of course, but you drafted Jordan James in the 5th round, and the 2025 NFL draft was one of the deepest running back classes ever, right? And if it wasn't that deep, we're talking about a player who normally would be like a 3rd-round pick. And so if you think of James as a 3rd-round pick instead of a 5th rounder, you're like, okay, if McCaffrey's out, we traded for Brian Robinson. Word out of Niners HQ is that they love him, and they think that he can change the course of this Niners offense and at least just add a different element to it because he's so physical. You drafted Jordan James, who prior to him getting hurt, a couple of different injuries, finger and a knee, he looked good. Contact balance, very sure-handed. He can pass protect. He can catch the ball a little bit out of the backfield, while at Oregon, picked up yards after contact and never fumbled throughout his NFL career. Kyle Shanahan loves that. Bobby T loves that, right? Don't give me guys who are going to put the pill on the carpet. So I think they like Jordan James. I like Jordan James. And so I think that you can get by with Brian Robinson as your RB1. He's a starting caliber running back. Jordan James is your RB2. I've cooled on Isaac Guerrero. Look, if you can't stay healthy, you kind of are who you are. You've been injured at Wisconsin, injured at Louisville, injured at the NFL. Now he's 220. He runs 4.3, and he's fascinating. But if he's your RB3, I think he's better suited there, right? And so that's a pretty good 1-2-3 punch. After that, though, Corey Connor's not coming back for a while. And so, do you poach a Patrick Taylor do you poach a Damian Martinez off of the Seahawks practice squad? I liked him coming out of Miami. I think he's a good player. Do you try to bring back Jeff Wilson, who looked pretty good in the preseason carries that he was able to get? And he obviously knows this scheme. So that's kind of my thinking at the running back spot. We'll see what happens with McCaffrey, but this sucks because I'll tell you this, for you and I, scout the game, analyze the game, evaluate the game. We love the game. This is why we talk football so much. This is why we produce so much content, right? Because we have a love for the game of football. To watch a special player like Christian McCaffrey is a privilege. It's an honor. And so from the football love of the game standpoint, for him to continue to deal with these injuries and you maybe worry about his career as a whole, this sucks as well from that standpoint too.
What do you make of the Pelissaro take? He's like, I will say this cautiously. I do not get the sense, based on the conversations I've had, that there are alarm bells going off about Christian McCaffrey at this point. I mean, talk about
Can't
a
trust it. I
spin.
can't trust it. We heard this
I
last
can't
year.
trust it.
You're not
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
not
I
fooling
can't
me
trust it.
again.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't. And also, if you're not alarmed, then what the hell are then maybe you should be.
We're talking about
I
previous history of calf and Achilles issues. The calf leads directly to the Achilles. He's a 29-year-old running back, and you're telling me not to be worried? I'm worried. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it just that just seems like Pelissero is just carrying the Niner PR mail,
For
PR
sure.
bucket of water there.
Mayoko, by the way, just said he thinks he's going to
Yeah.
be questionable for Sunday. So that's
Right.
not good either. Not probable, questionable. He was questionable, right? If I'm not mistaken, for the Jets game week 1 last year. A surprise scratch prior to the game. He's a game time decision. Same thing.
The question is, did the Niners know this when they made the Brian Robinson trade? They probably did.
Well, you've
Right?
been
They
there.
probably
What's McCaffrey been doing?
I mean, he's in practice. He looks, he looks the way he looks. I mean, he doesn't look. I wouldn't say they're definitely going easy on him as far as the reps, but it's not like he's been out. He's been out there from time to time. I mean, the Niners have rest days for veterans. The Niners have, they'll have days where they've kept Christian out of team activities where he did part of practice, but not all. But, that could be precautionary. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
especially with a player as valuable as him with a history of injuries that he's had. But at this point, I just get the feeling that, it's like they kind of make up their own rules when it comes to the injuries. And it's like, they're very much, let's keep everything under wraps and let's, only give the media and the press what you have to. But I think now you get, you can be deceptive all summer and nobody's going to call you on it. But once the games start, then all of a sudden there's gamblers involved. And
Right.
then because of the gamblers involved, the NFL has very stringent rules about the injuries, and you can't play these injury games. You have to be straightforward, truthful, and honest.
Yep.
And now suddenly in the straightforward, truthful, and honest week, the guy who wasn't hurt at all is suddenly really hurt.
Yeah.
But it's not that serious, but he's questionable. But there, I mean, it's like,
what do you think Breece Hall would cost in a trade? A third?
How many years of contractual control do you get? 2? Or is he a free agent?
I think he's a free agent. I'll check right now as you kind of explain.
I would say if you had 2 years of if you had more than this year, I would say you might have to move a 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
Some teams maybe a 4th. Some teams would be a 4th, but for the team like the Niners, who are probably going to pick at the back of the round, I'd say it's a 3rd.
See, the more like you say that, and I'm like, I don't think so. But like, look, final year of his contract. Same with Brian Robinson. You're not tied to them beyond this year. Cap hit of $4.3 million. The Niners have what, $45 million in cap space. And so,
Right.
yeah, no contractual control, which does stink if you really like the player. But if you don't want to tie yourself to a running back long-term, Robinson, Breece Hall, when you've financially committed to Christian McCaffrey, would this kind of offset things or at least help you absorb the blow? It's fascinating. There's no doubt about that.
No, I mean, it's another, major topic of conversation for sure. And we'll see where it goes. I mean, really, it's as simple as that.